Sometimes grounded in reality, sometimes not. But speaking of not grounded in reality, we're just going to segue right into this. Video game reviewers.
Oh, gosh.
You're welcome.
Why do you think they are so out of touch?
Because they don't play video games.
Yeah.
Like, have you noticed that...
They review them, they don't play them.
Here's a list. It's every modern game IGN has given a 10 out of 10, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have not looked through this. And none of us have. Maybe you know
I've
it.
seen it before, yeah.
You've seen it before. Okay, so Elden Ring got it.
Okay.
Forza Horizon 5. Is
No.
Forza Horizon
No.
a perfect game? They're fun.
I wouldn't give
No.
that no.
Deathloop?
I don't know.
I haven't played it.
I've never played it.
I've heard it's really good though.
Let's see. I'm just going to scroll down a little bit because some of these are indie games, right? So, yeah, Microsoft Flight Sim. I can assure you.
I told you.
No.
Microsoft
How does
Flight
that
Sim.
get a 10 out of 10?
I don't.
Not,
honestly,
What is their basis for 10 out of 10?
I honestly have a hard time even putting that as like a normal like ranking as a normal game. Like 'cause it's
Yeah.
not really. I mean, it's a game, yes, but like, what do you
It's-
do? You just fly.
It's more of a tool.
It's-
There's
yeah, it's
nothing
more
you
of a
achieve
tool.
in that, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless there
Overrated.
is.
Overwatch?
That I like Overwatch.
It's not
Okay.
Is
a
it
10 out of
perfect?
10
I
game.
It's,
No.
it's not a terrible
It's not.
game, but it's not 10 out of 10 level.
Logan, do you have a flaw with Overwatch at all? Is there any gripes you have about the game?
I mean,
The community.
The truth.
Okay.
They've
okay,
been
that's-
fine-tuning that game for years now. Like, it's not a perfect game.
yeah.
No, absolutely not.
It's
also
gotten closer to
online,
better
though.
and better. Oh, yeah, that you have to take that into account.
Yeah.
That's all it is an online game.
Persona
Mhm.
5 Royal.
That one deserves it.
That actually does?
Yeah.
Okay. Half-Life Alyx.
I
played that one.
I
I don't think I played
so.
that one.
Red Dead 2. I think Half-Life Alyx is the VR one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
Yeah.
they're like, oh, Half-Life 3, and then they give him this game after 20 years
Yeah.
of waiting. But
So Red
I
Dead
don't-
2?
I think that just got it because of the name. But
Red.
Red Dead 2 is really good.
It's
but
good.
It's
but-
good. I don't know if I give
I
it
don't
10
know
out of
if I-
10, but
I don't know what game I'd give a 10 out of 10. Like, it's tough to get a perfect game for me.
Mhm.
But
Super Mario Odyssey?
I wouldn't give that a
I'd
10
put
out of
that. I'd agree with
10.
that. I'd agree with that.
Logan's just agreeing because it's Nintendo.
Because it's
No, I
Nintendo.
I think Odyssey's probably the best Mario game.
Undertale?
I don't know about that, but I mean, of its
Undertale-
style.
Undertale's good, but I
Undertale?
don't know about 10 out of 10. I think it's a huge cultural game, but
Breath of the Wild?
Not a
I
10
could
out
see
of
that
10.
actually belonging about up there.
Mhm.
Now, I will say that they do give some Zelda games too much credit. Some of them they give
It's
10 out
like
of 10.
all of
no.
the
IGN
super iconic,
IGN does do
you
that.
know,
Mhm.
IPs. They just, oh, wow, it's this game. It's a new one that came out. Yeah, it's so good.
Like, I already know for a fact that
the same thing
Elder
with Mario.
Scrolls 6 is going to get a 10 from them because it's Elder Scrolls. The first one since
wait.
It's gotta come
2011.
out
See.
first.
Well, no, but IGN will give it a 10. I'm calling it now.
If it comes
That's
out.
probably
Maybe.
super loud.
If it ever releases.
It's all right.
The Witness.
No.
Never heard of it.
It's a
I've
puzzle
played
game.
it. It's an indie. It was a free game of the month a long time ago. I mean, it's
Yeah.
a cool game. Not a 10 out of 10.
It's all puzzles.
I mean,
You're on an island.
it's really cool looking game and stuff. I played through it, but
Metal Gear Solid 5.
I thought that got a lot of crap for one.
It's
But
pretty good. I mean, I like what I played.
Is it
of
perfect?
No, it's not perfect.
GTA 5.
no,
No.
no.
The
no.
Last of Us remastered.
I mean, The Last of Us is a pretty good game.
Did you
It's
give The
definitely-
Last of Us the first one a 10 out of 10? That's what I want to know.
I'd have to scroll
Because
through.
if they did
Let's
that
see.
and they gave the remaster a 10 out of 10, that's just messed up.
It really is.
No.
It's the same game.
No, because... Okay, so actually, look at this. Hold on. Oh, no. Why did you do that? So it started out here in 1998, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 4 before 2010.
And
What
then we
happened?
get all the others.
What? So
They
is this
relaxed their standards.
no such thing as a good game before 2010?
No, it just got into, oh, this is kind of the thing to do now.
I respect how one of those, the first four, is Pokemon Red and Blue.
That's deserving.
A 10?
I don't know about 10.
That's
No.
deserving. No, so we got
These games are iconic, but that doesn't mean they're the greatest
Greatest.
games ever.
so that's what I want to talk about though is
Galaxy
just
2, yes.
how out of touch.
Pac-Man.
Why
Pac-Man
Really?
Championship Edition.
Really?
DX.
DX
Really?
in 2010?
It does not deserve that
How does
ranking.
Pac-Man ever even get into the conversation for this?
And it's not even the original. It's the one from
The
2010.
Championship Edition,
Like-
or whatever.
Hey, they
I
gave
don't
it a
get
perfect
it.
10. I don't know, man. So Uncharted 3, like, it's a good game. Not 10. I'd say like a 9.
I am a huge Zelda fan, but Skyward Sword, it's not.
Oh, that one definitely does not deserve it.
So
I know,
why
it's
are they
stupid.
so out of touch though?
Because
They don't even play games.
Well, it's mainly just IGN is what I see. I think it's not every review company. I think there's a ton of solid ones that I can think of, like
There's a lot of
Nintendo.
dumb ones, but
Nintendo Life is one that I know.
you would like Nintendo Life.
The
Do you know why?
Game Explain's pretty good. I like how they do their reviews,
Mhm.
but it's the biggest issue is IGN, just because they do their stuff kind of stupid. Like,
There's a lot of them out there. It's this is a big thing. There's so many gamers now. It's so popular, so we got to jump into that.
Yeah.
And we have a billion writers that are in the name writer, the title writer only. That's it. They're
Yeah.
just like everywhere. It's crap, but
yeah.
and they're like, well, let's just jump into this. We'll play maybe an hour of a game or something like that, and then that'll be a review. They don't even play the whole game.
Nope.
Lots of the time, like
Yeah.
I don't think you can ever give a review for a game if you have not played
If
at
you haven't
least
played
the
it
vast majority of the
from
game.
start to finish and done a majority side quest.
Like you got to play an ample amount of the game
Yeah.
to be able to give a good review of it.
Because, like, for instance, if there's an open world game like Breath of the Wild or something, right? And you're like, because I gave that a 10 out of 10, which, I mean, it's a great game. But I would say there's some things in there that aren't perfect, like going and
Oh, it's
having to
not
collect
perfect.
100 or how many of those stupid little Korok seeds?
There's like 400, I think.
400 of those things, like
400 something.
Wait, in Breath of the Wild?
yeah.
They're over 900.
Oh,
over
and 900.
900.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
It's 900.
so
I know.
I would say
all
that's
in one.
It's like 400 you need to
for
complete
for
all
the reward to be basically nothing, right?
slots.
Isn't
No.
it just crap?
It's a golden pile of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reward is literally crap.
Yeah.
That's not perfect.
I mean,
It's funny, but it's not perfect.
I mean, what constitutes perfect? Like we got to talk about that. What do they think is a perfect game? Innovative or to some extent. If it's just a popularity contest, a lot of that is what it is.
mhm.
If it's woke and diverse, that's a lot of things nowadays, which I'm like,
Yeah.
does it have a good story? Does it have good gameplay mechanics that are smooth? Does it look good? Like, it's lots of practical things that need to go into it. And I think these gamer writers are so out of touch just because they're not gamers a lot of the time.
Yeah.
How do you report on something and really critique it if you don't understand or enjoy what the whole thing is about?
So
And
are
I
there
don't know.
are
It's
there
weird.
any like review companies then that aren't total garbage?
Yeah. Like I said, Nintendo Life, Game Explain are pretty good. The two that I can think of. One like non-traditional review company I'd say is like The Completionist, Gerard the Completionist. I think he's probably the best because he actually 100% the game before he reviews, and he does a review as he like kind of gives his thoughts on the game and like shows how the game works and stuff. So I think he's probably the standard in my opinion of like game reviews. Like pretty much everything that I see of his, like he's an avid gamer, he loves video games, and you could tell like he just puts a ton of time into games. He 100% in Persona 5 and then did a review on that, which was insane because that game is insanely hard.
So
to
that's
beat.
a long game, isn't
It's a
it?
very
long
long
game.
game.
It's a sick game.
Very long.
To 100% that? That's crazy.
I think he put like over 400 hours into it just to complete it, which was
Just
nuts.
to do absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't take that long to complete the game, but
No.
I think
Yeah,
I actually
it's a
have that
sick
game on my Vita.
I have it on my PS4 and
Me too.
haven't beat it.
I think it was a free Vita game
It's
at
a
one point.
incredibly unique game.
Yeah, it's really
Like,
cool. I
it's
just
JRPG and everything like that,
Yeah.
but it's got its own style and everything. Just fantastic music and character design and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's
mhm.
a very unique, well-deserving game for, if not 10 out of 10, pretty close, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, those just
I hate seeing. It's all the online stuff that are articles that show up on Facebook all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Screen
like,
Rant or
Game Rant, Screen Rant, comicbook.com, IGN, that kind of stuff.
Kotaku.
Like,
Oh, Kotaku's
they've gone downhill
They're
really
so
bad.
bad. Like, I remember IGN, I used to like their stuff.
It used to be
Like,
good, but they've got
way back
progressively
in
worse.
2013, 2014, 2015, I actually enjoyed their stuff. And then, 2013 and 14, I enjoyed it. And then I think Kind of Funny started in 2015 when Greg and Colin left. And then those two left. Their head PlayStation guy and one of their lead writers. They both left the site, and ever since then, slow decline down. And then, kind of funny, went downhill as well. That's a completely different story for a different day. But
I do like I still watch them every now and then, and
dude,
they have some good.
They got so political during the 2016 election. I stopped
They're
watching,
bad,
and
yeah.
I haven't been.
Yeah.
I haven't watched them since.
That's why Colin's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Colin.
He got out when he should have, though.
He got
It
kicked
would have
out.
been bad. I know, but
But I miss him there. I wish that Colin was still with those guys. He was the only one that actually had common sense. But
he was the funniest one too. So.
he was, yeah.
It's hilarious.
That tweet that he put out that got him kicked out. You heard about that, right?
Probably.
He put up a tweet, and it was like peace and quiet #day without a woman. It was that day that they all like protested and just didn't show up to work, and it was a day without a woman. So he put up like peace and quiet, and the other 3 guys that he started this company with kicked him out because
Yeah, I heard about that.
it was
It's
too
called
too
a joke,
offensive.
man. He's a comedian.
Yeah, like the whole brand is
Get
called
over
Kinda
it.
Funny. You're supposed to be comedic, or at least kinda comedic.
Not anymore.
Slightly comedic, but they're like, nope. So anyways, they kicked him out and they went downhill. But I don't know. I feel like a lot of the reviewers are so out of touch. They're more concerned
Very
about
out of touch.
they're more concerned about getting the reviews out quick than doing the reviews well. So they're
Yeah,
hiring
being the first.
So-
It's all about views.
so they're hiring people that have no idea what they're doing just because they're breathing. They're like, hey, we need someone to write this.
Literally every game switches writer too.
Yeah,
Like they're all different.
yeah.
I'm like, you should maybe
I'm
stick with someone.
convinced. They just get on Fiverr. They're like, hey, you know what? We need someone to write this for
I
me.
think so. Some of
Like-
the stuff is so garbage.
Or at least have somebody who's consistent across the genres.
right. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Because they do
Like-
movie reviews. They do games. They do all sorts of stuff like
But even
that.
within games, you can have a writer for, say, the action RPGs. You can have a writer for the puzzle, a writer for so and such.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine to divvy it that way, but don't have a different one for everything within a certain category. Otherwise, you lose the actual standard, if you will, for how
Yeah.
they actually ranked them.
Yeah.
And do they? What we probably need is an actual rubric of sorts for rating the games.
That's what they should have. It's all willy nilly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like this thing about games. This game does that well. I'm gonna give it a 10. Like, do you need like a set like standard? It's got to be like written down a standard.
Yeah.
Okay, gauge this, gauge this, gauge this. If this, and this are over this part of the threshold or whatever,
Yeah.
you could give it this rank. That kind of stuff. It's got to be principle.
Could you imagine if I did that with my classes with how they do those?
Right.
My students would have wonton grades, and who knows who'd pass or fail just based on my whim, you know?
Yeah. And that's the problem, though, too. It's just like, without them having some sort of a standard at most of these companies, or I'd almost say all of them, like almost
Probably,
all.
yeah.
Without them having any sort of a standard, it's like, okay, so let's say I have one game and you have one game. The community score for one, like let's say the one I have, is significantly higher than the one you have. But if
That's not realistic, Jordan. Let's be more realistic here. Okay, go ahead.
okay. I'm saying if I got a random game,
No.
there's a
We're-
potential.
Just
that-
roll.
So if I gave my game like a 7 out of 10 and you gave yours a 10, but the community scores are showing that like mine got a 9.5 out of 100 or out of 10 or whatever, 95, and then yours got a 6 for community scores, like
Yeah, it's because you
flipped?
have uncultured swine on your side.
Okay.
I'm giving you crap.
That's not the point.
Just,
You
no,
know
I get what you're saying.
So
I get that.
that doesn't like according to that whole site then that game's better. But it's like off what metric? It's one person that said, no, this game's great, but their opinion is just dog water.
It's also very telling when there's lots of community feedback and the review does not represent what the majority of the community says.
Yeah. Well, it's like Rotten Tomatoes, though, too. Look
Yeah.
at the like movie
And then
stuff.
if it's like if
same
it doesn't,
thing.
it's always getting review bombed,
yeah.
which that's a real thing. But there's also just something called negative reviews. Like
Yeah.
if the game isn't bad, all right. I think money plays into this sometimes. I think companies pay for good reviews a lot of the time too. Like if we want to open a can of worms, The Last of Us Part 2. Like, can you see a polar opposites of community versus like reviews companies and stuff, and like game awards and stuff?
I actually have not played that game. I'm gonna look this up. What's the website? It's not for video games. Is it just video game reviews or what's the site? that has a community score with a critic score?
I'm not sure.
Off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Okay.
And
I'm
like
just gonna
that's
look.
I haven't
a
looked this up in a
special
long
case.
while. I
There's-
lost a lot of faith in reviewers a long time ago.
Yeah,
so.
I know there's a website
Yeah,
that
I'm
specifically
not sure. I don't
is.
know, but
Oh, Metacritic. That's it.
Metacritic.
Yeah, so Metascore is 93 out of 100. User score is 5.7 out of 10.
That one,
For
I
The
don't know.
Last
They
of Us
probably
Part
got
2.
review bombed, like they said that whole time.
Yeah,
But
they did.
it was also really negative though too, and there's lots of crap going on. I mean, they they really diversified that game, which whatever, you do what you want, but they just took a crap on the story, and it was a terrible story, and that's all it was. And people were like, this is stupid. You just
This review right here by the Sweaty Nerd. Loved everything in this game except for the messy story and writing. Gameplay, music, graphics, controls are all perfect. The story is not.
Yep.
Which is
That would
exactly
be
what you
that would
just
be what
said.
I'd say. Like the game was beautiful. They spent a lot of time on it. Gameplay was pretty smooth. Like it looked fantastic. They just took a garbage dump on this freaking story though and ruined it.
Because the first one had a really good story to it,
Yeah.
but the second one,
And
Yeah, the first one was great.
it's
I would
more
say
about gameplay and looks. Like story is the biggest thing. You started the universe with characters that people love, and then you took a dump on it. Like
Yeah, I haven't played The Last of Us Part 2. I know what happens in the game.
yeah.
Like, I have no desire to play it because I don't want the characters that I loved in the first one to get ruined, and I just know.
Well,
based
don't
off
worry,
what
they
I
don't get
heard,
ruined. Or one doesn't. He just dies.
He just
so
dies. Yeah, that's what I
oh,
heard.
spoiler alert.
It's been out for a
Oh,
couple years.
I know.
so-
I'm giving him crap.
No, spoiler alert.
that was the
guys are gonna do
that was
later.
the big
True.
thing people hated. But I mean, writers, you can do whatever you want, but you got to understand that there's going to invoke a certain response from fans who care about your game, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It is what it is. Opinions are opinions, but I don't know. I think
Yeah, I'm
back
sick
on
of
actual topic. Play the game before you review it.
Yeah, I'm sick of when a game comes out, people, because a lot of people base their decision on if they buy it off of the reviews. So if you go to IGN,
Those are morons. That's what we call them.
No, they are. But I mean, some people though, they can only get like 1, 2, 3 games a year, so they got to make that purchase count when they can, right? They can't afford to get every new game or whatever, so they're like, you know what, I can get 2 games this year. That's $120, which for a lot of people, that's a lot. So when you're looking at the reviews then and you're like, okay, well, this game got a 9.5, this game got a 7, I'm going to get the 9.5, but the 7 could be significantly better.
Well, even then, a
in
reviewer can't cover everything for everyone. Everybody's going to have individual tastes.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I'm talking like with the Metacritic and stuff too, where it's like on average this one got
But
Even
I
then,
would say-
perhaps you actually belong to a niche group of gamers. you
Yeah,
know?
like, because I'd say like say like I could only get 3 games a year, right? Regardless, I'm gonna buy like the Pokemon game because I love Pokemon. I don't care if IGN gives it a 5 out of 10, right? Like I'm still gonna buy that game as one of my games for the year because I love the genre. I love the
series.
the Pokemon series. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's not what we're bringing up here though. I'm saying like if you had to pick between 2 and it's like, do I want
So
this
two
But
one?
I
completely new games.
You're like, do
Yeah,
I
like
want
that
this
you never
one
played before.
or do I want this one? And I
Yeah.
can only get one. I can only afford one. What
Yeah.
one do I get? They base their decision off of that review then. If the
But I
review
think-
is
you do
terrible,
research.
not a touch.
Yeah,
I was
think
going to say,
that's
at
the
that
thing.
point, you also need to look for reviewers that actually match your taste.
And we live in a
And
day
don't
and
just go
age
off of
where
indie.
YouTube is very prevalent, and we have a lot of content creators that are covering new games as they come out. And there's plenty of resources when games come out to look at them and be like, I like the gameplay of this game, I like the story of this game, or whatever it may be, and you make that objective
And there's
decision on your
non-spoiler
own.
stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
You can find out what you
Yep.
want if you put the time in to find out what
Exactly.
you want. That just comes down to how much you care.
Yeah, so it's pretty sad though, I guess, that people that get paid to review games are less reliable and have way worse opinions than people that just put it up on YouTube as a fun little review for free. And like their reviews are always better.
Well, those people are the ones who just love the game and actually want to share it with others for the most part.
Yeah.
That and they're not making as much off of it, so they need to do higher quality content.
Yeah.
Those other reviewers, they're getting their pay regardless at this point.
Yeah.
So
If you care about what you can do, you're going to put the time in to make it good,
Yeah.
All I'm
And-
saying is reviews for games should not drop day one once a game drops, okay?
unless they've already been
Well,
playing the
usually
game in
they've had it
advance.
for a
Yeah.
few weeks or a month.
But-
Some do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I Not even within the first 3 days, I don't think.
Yeah.
God, because I've gotten review copies of games before just for
Sure.
streaming, and then I did nothing with it. But they're like, hey, we want you to have this early. Like, you make YouTube videos, but you can't release it or stream it until this day.
I get that.
You know, and I've had that for me.
They'll write in articles even like, we've played through the first episode or something, and it's like a 20-episode game, right? We played through the first episode, and this is what we liked and hated, and this is the rating we give for the entirety of the game. I'm like,
yeah. Well, if they mark it as a review in progress, I like that.
oh, they never market it as that. This is a review of this game. I don't know. It's just take some time.
Yeah.
If you don't like video games, you probably shouldn't be reviewing them.
Yeah.
That's true.
You know, give it to someone who actually cares. But it's a job. You have a job to do. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just don't think there's they hold a lot of weight in today's era. Or anything,
I agree. I mean, you've already heard me say this, so I don't
Oh, yeah.
really follow them much.
Yeah. Game
I do my own
reviewers-
research.
Mm-hmm.
So IGN and other game review sites, we give 0 out of 10.
No, 7.5 out of 10. Too much. Too much water.
7.5 too high for IGN. All right, so we can go on to the next topic. I just wanted to touch up on that.